I'll put us on Facebook. I'll give you the number of suggestions. You just pick a number.
I love how you do that. I've been watching your shows.
I mean, I think the biggest selling point is watching me count when we get suggestions. I'm like, all right, 1, 2. And sometimes I'm like, I think I counted the right number. Like I've never gone back and checked.
Right.
So I'm like, I think this is it. But sometimes I kind of rush through it. But I think it's fun. And you can do whatever, however you want to play it. A lot of these have been, like mono scenes. But like if you want to do anything, whatever you want to do, I'm down for it.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to see what we discover.
Yeah, I love that. I had a friend who said, I can't wait to see where we go and who we meet. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that whole thought of like being excited to see what happens instead of afraid. I think it changes the whole mindset here. So we are, let me pull up our suggestions here. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, we've got, Diana, we got 30 suggestions. So pick a number 1 to 30.
Well, it is fun watching you count. So I'm going to say 26.
Now I can go backwards from 30, but I will go forwards from 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's from Bob. Our suggestion is the view from here is amazing.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. Right. It's like looking at a painting.
I think I've seen a painting of this.
Listen, Carol, they try to recreate this in paintings. And I don't think how can you capture this? This is amazing.
See, Johan, this is what I love about you. You keep me in the present, loving the majesty before us.
I mean, now I understand why people say, hey, stop and smell the roses. Because we're so busy and we just don't take time out to sit there and just look at this view.
Johan,
yeah.
I haven't smelled a rose in 6 years, 4 days, and 12 minutes.
I mean, like, let's be honest, why would you? There's no reason you would unless you're really conscious of it. And are we ever really conscious of anything? I don't know. I feel like today's the day I'm going to make time to stop and just smell the roses and look at the scene. I mean, when you said to pull over, I thought you were saying because I had a flat tire.
Well, initially I thought you did, but truthfully, the world has just opened up and given us this moment now.
Man, before you know it, it's over, right? Before you know it. But if you can stop, it becomes, what I know is going to happen is this is going to become a habit. This moment, taking it slowly, it's going to become a habit because this view is, I mean, I'm almost angry at how beautiful this view is and I've never noticed it.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Because I'm a little angry.
Yeah. I'm like,
why haven't we seen this before?
Because we're so focused on the wrong thing, Carol. We're focused on the wrong thing in life.
We're new people.
Yes.
We opened those car doors. We stepped out of the vehicle. I do love the Subaru, by the way.
I mean, very sensible. It's a very sensible car.
It's practical, and that's part of like not smelling the roses, that practicality, because we're always focused on the goal.
Yes.
Oh my God. I have never felt closer to you than I feel right now.
We've been focusing on being practical.
I want to be impractical. I know, I said it out loud. I just went there. I'm
What? Take off your rain jacket. Throw
Okay.
it over. Throw it over. This
Right.
tie is bye-bye.
Take off your belts. Your pants are loose, and we don't know what might happen.
That's, Carol,
They're
that's it.
still falling. The
Right.
coat, the tie, they're still falling. We are on the edge of the world. But more importantly, we are on the edge of our new future.
Yes. We're on the edge of a brand new life.
You know what? All of our bills are set to auto pay right now.
Yeah.
With the touch of one button,
No.
I could cancel that.
Do it. Right now. Cancel it. Cancel it. Cancel.
You know what that means? Potential late fees?
Who cares?
Oh my
Uh,
God. I just did it.
I want you to call me a different name. I don't want to be Johan anymore. That's a name that was given to me. I don't want that anymore. I want give me a name that when I walk into a restaurant, if I decide to walk into a restaurant, but if I do, they're going to ask me to spell it or say it again because it's not a normal, predictable name. I've been predictable my whole life. Give me first thing you think of. Don't even censor it. First thing.
Zymergen.
Great, Zymergen.
You are now Zymergen.
I love it. I am Zymergen, and
You are emerging as Zymergen. Dear God, I can't believe I said that. It was a terrible joke, but it's the truth too.
Hey, Carol, it is not a terrible joke. It is the truth, and it is Zymergen is who I am known as from now on.
I don't want to be Carol anymore.
Okay.
Give me a new self. Who am I? Zymergen.
Phoenix.
Rising?
You're rising.
From the ashes of predictability
Yes.
into the skies and vista of complete and utter chaos. Can I call you Zy?
You could call me whatever you want. Call me Zy, Phoenix.
Would it be? Okay, it would be.
Don't
Completely
even
crazy, I know.
Don't even just do. Don't ask, do.
Put this car over the cliff, and if people don't know what happened,
Can I add to that?
please do.
I mean, this view, I don't think I'll ever see anything as beautiful as this view.
Accept your heart.
I'm going to be in the car. You can join me if you want, or you can stay here if you want. But I'm going to go over this cliff in that car.
Zy.
Yeah. I'm inviting you to come with, but I don't expect you to come with.
I'm getting a text, but I'm going to ignore it.
I mean,
No.
make it fine. I'm going in the car. Phoenix, I'm going in the car. I've never felt so alive. I can't see. It's like artists who used to pluck out their own eyes because they saw something so beautiful they could never see anything more beautiful again. I'm going.
I think we should do it.
This is our moment.
I don't think we need to wear seatbelts. Do we need to wear seatbelts?
My first thought is I'm going to put a seatbelt on, and I thought, why?
Look at you changing in front of me right now. You're just a new. I am speechless and awed at your commitment to change. I'm going to get in the car with you, Zy. Oh my God.
Here we are. This is so far from being predictable.
Car smell will be the last thing we smell.
I've never said this to you before, but I couldn't ask for a better way to close this. I just couldn't, Zy. I mean, Phoenix,
It's okay. There's a little lion in me and a little phoenix in you. This is going to be a good ending, isn't it?
I feel like it's the only ending. Look at that view.
Calling our names. Before we,
Yeah,
I need to tell you something.
yeah.
When we got in the car today, I was going to ask for a divorce. And I'm so ashamed of that. We saved our marriage.
Yeah. Yeah, we did save our marriage.
I'm
I love
scared.
you.
Go on.
I love you.
You haven't said that to me even longer than it's been since I smelled a rose.
6 years, 18 days, 4 hours. No,
4 hours and 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
My watch is probably fast.
Hold my hand.
I love you.
I love you.
God, look at that view.
Scene.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So wow, it's so you're just so incredible, and like it's so fun playing with you because you get to it, right? You get to it and you have such like you have a million characters inside of you that just come out, and it was so fun playing.
Thank you, Jay. You are one of the most present improvisers I've ever had the privilege of working with or watching work. You are so patient. I'd love to know one of your philosophies about patience.
Well, it's interesting because there's nowhere to go. We don't have to get anywhere. We can let it kind of unfold. And I think like a big part of it is discovery becomes so much easier. I think as you do it more, some people have it right away. And you've probably taught people in like level one where you're like, they got it, they understand it, right? But it's there's not a need to rush to like the next thing when the thing we've got is like it's going to be so much more fun to explore it as much as we can before it transforms or before you move on. So like every single moment taking it as like more important than it should be. And I think that comes from like maybe it's instinctual, but I definitely think it also has to do with people who train you and teach you and show you the joy in doing that, to be like don't skip past something else to thinking that that's more interesting when what's happening right now, if you're interested in it, it becomes super interesting. And so I think that's the thing. And isn't that what we try to do in life that we fail at sometimes, is try to be present? I mean, that's the hardest thing anybody can do, is to be present. It's something that maybe is easier on a stage for me, but in life, it's especially with what's happening now, to remind yourself moment to moment to moment, everything's going to change, but try to just stay present rather than like planning ahead.
So beautiful.
Yeah, well, I don't think I've known you for so long, but I don't think I've ever asked you, or maybe we've talked about it. And thank you for saying that. What brought you into improv? How did you find your way here?
Oh, thank you for asking me that. Well, I come from a theater background, and a good friend introduced me to the idea of improv at an early age, and it scared me. And then later I came back to it and started with short form. And then once I discovered, and I love short form, but once I discovered long form, it's like, ooh, this is my home.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Yeah, long form has become my absolute love. And so I came at it through the back door of theater.
Oh, that's funny. The back door. I love it.
Cheating on my improv with the scripted work, as it were.
Yes. Well,
How about you? How'd you come to improv?
it was a Christmas present from my parents. And they said, we think you'd like this. And it was not like I'm going to go somewhere with this. So I enjoyed that a bunch where it was not like, okay, this is going to lead somewhere. I think I would have been more intimidated for sure if it was like, oh, now I have to get on a team or anything like that. It was just super fun. And then I started noticing, oh, it changes how I am in life. And I really do. I think humans want to be part of groups and part of something and part of this. I like my friend David Escobedo has been talking about not improv communities, but like an ecosystem. And I think that's really true. And I think we all strive to be a part of something. And so I bought into that early on because I did not want to do stand up because I was like, oh, the thought of being alone up there, no way. But the thought of like, I've got at least one other person to do this with, then that really appealed to me.
Community.
Yeah. You're a part of something, and then you can now pick up, your phone, you can turn on your computer, and you can instantly connect with someone anywhere in the world. And this has allowed us to do scenes and work with people either that we don't get enough chance to work with, or we don't have the time before, or we've never met. And now we can do that. And it's like everybody speaks that same language. And I'll be honest, I'm finding that people improvise like more compassionately and empathetically online than they do in real life.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it because you think every little thing is noticeable on this platform?
I think that's definitely part of it. I also think there is part of it that if you're meeting someone for the first time or kind of new to meeting them or playing with them, you're playing more on your best behavior, and you're feeling, for some people, they're feeling less pressure to have to deliver and more of like, oh, I can't talk at the same time that person does, so let me listen more. And so I feel like the format has lent itself to more like give and take.
And more patient listening.
More,
Yeah.
yeah. Which is, as a teacher, it's like, what a great, great thing to have happen to improv is for people are forced to listen more.
This is true. This is very true.
Why you have such a wealth of characters that you play? Do you think like is that something in improv that you've always found fascinating and interesting and exciting to do?
Absolutely. I mean, I grew up watching, and this will date me, and I'm okay with that, the Carol Burnett show, right?
Oh, yes.
And so she was my idol. I wanted to play as many bizarre, interesting, wonderful, relatable, awful, everything people humanly possible. Yeah, I'm definitely more of a character-based improviser than close to myself. Although today I played a little closer to me. Not quite, but a little closer.
Yeah.
How about you? I mean, you play so genuinely. Do you enjoy playing characters as well?
Yeah, when I think when I play short form, I play a lot broader of a character at times. I think partially it's that I'm pretty confident that character won't be called back, so it won't be. I'll have to remember what that was. I think it's also maybe in shorter scenes I'm willing to take bigger risks. I don't know. And then when I play, I've noticed like when I start playing these kind of situations, they're just different versions of me, just heightened senses of like, oh, this is somebody who's more in awe, or this is somebody who's more scared, but they really do boil down to like closer to me, but just heightened. So then it's like, oh, it's an easier draw for me. But I definitely, and also too, honestly, it depends on who I'm playing with, because sometimes like when you and I play and you go bigger with like you do like big characters, I tend to match that. So if somebody's doing like a really big character choice, then I'll tend to kind of do a similar one, and sometimes I'll even subconsciously mirror that character that they're doing. So I think it's all dependent on that. And sometimes I think maybe when I was younger, maybe I did like bigger bigger, broader characters. And then as I got older, maybe I was like, oh, I want to explore different sides of me and see how that works, to see about like sustaining the character. You know, some people, like, you're one of those people that's just like, oh, you can be in a character full on a second into the scene, and then we see more of that character as it goes. Like, you have that ability to make those real big, strong choices, which are really great. So yeah, I think you kind of go through phases in improv.
Yeah, it's true. Back in the before times, as I like to call it, I had the pleasure of working with a group that was really working for like really grounded, very naturalistic. And that
Yeah.
was so good for me to stretch in that way. So I would love to ask you, what are you stretching? What way are you working to stretch right now?
Well, I
I'm
think
looking for
that's
inspiration.
that's such a great question. I think one is like trying to be ever present. Like, don't try not to interrupt or let that anxiety part of me take over in scenes, and to be like, okay, let me just see if I can really react to the last thing that's said. Another is to get out of my comfort zone and play with people I don't always play with, and play with people maybe new, and put myself out there on camera to be like, all right, let me just try to do this with people I've never met, and follow that fear. And really, you know, as a teacher, you start saying things that you have to, as you continue, you have to start listening to yourself and going, all right, you tell people to do this. What are you doing that you instruct people to do? I think that's a huge part of it. So I'm starting now to like listen to the things I say and say, okay, I say follow the fear. What does that mean to me? Let me do that. I say, you know, get outside your comfort zone. What does that mean? Okay, reach out to, you know, another thing is like reach out to people, be proactive and ask people to play rather than like waiting to be asked, which is something that um, I haven't done as much of before, but now I have no problem being like, even just on Twitter saying like, hey, you know, let me reach out to Greg Proops, and he might not say yes, but let me just reach out and see if he wants to do a show, or let me reach out to, you know, Amy Sedaris or things like that.
You have inspired me. I'll admit, I'm really nervous about reaching out to people to do that, and playing with folks that I don't know very well or have never played with. Like I'm afraid of jams. But now you've inspired me. I'm going to, yep, I'm going to do it.
And are you going to reach out to Sheri Flanders and play? Because you two have a great chemistry, and she's amazing like you.
I would love to play with her again. I need to revisit that. Thank you for making that connection.
Oh yeah, and Jill
Sheri, if you're watching, let's do it.
I'm going to tag her in this. Jill Eichmann talked to me and said, hey, let's do this kind of partnering people up who don't know each other. And the first person I thought of was Sheri, and I'm sure you were the first person that she thought of. And you two did this scene that was just like, oh, it's like watching old friends play. So definitely, it was such a joy.
You are a joy.
You are, Diana. You're the
No,
joy.
you are.
How can people get a hold of you? Because you're also like an amazing coach and teacher and director. And if they want to, like, you know, work with you or play with you or anything like that, what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
Well, there are a couple of ways. Thank you so much for asking. I have the privilege of being on faculty at Leela. So I have a level 1 class coming up with Leela. I believe we start on the 20th of this month. And then I also coach with my duo partner, Dan Wilson, and you can learn about that at bingewatchimprov.com. Check out our improv triage, or hit me up on Facebook.
Oh, you are a national treasure, my friend. And
Thank you.
I love playing with you. I can't wait to do it again.
All right, I'm going to invite you to play with me in the very near future.
Anytime. Thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.